Good morning and welcome to AM Tri-Cities here on your ESPN Tri-City station. We are live at Food City, the Food City on Eastman Road here in Kingsport. Now, it's not the one downtown on Clinchfield Street. It's not the one out in Colonial Heights at the intersection of Moreland and Fort Henry. It's not even one of the ones over in Johnson City or Bristol or the store in Church Hill. No, it's the one right here in Kingsport on Eastman Road. Raymond Stockard's home away from home. And he's here today. Where else would he be? It's just home away from home. I love it. I love it. I love it. Do not overlook the potential that your Food City offers you for your Easter celebration. I'm serious. They've got, they can make your food dollars go further and further and further and further. The vaccine situation, you know, we usually talk about that a couple of minutes at the first part of the show. The Sullivan County Regional Health Department is administering the COVID vaccine at the White Top Creek Park in Bristol as we speak, and they will be there until probably about till 3 o'clock this afternoon anyway. So also they are administering the shots at the Civic Auditorium here in Kingsport. You do need, however, to to make an appointment with, and this is going to be true with all of your health departments. You're going to need to make an appointment. Here in Sullivan County, you know, they've opened it up to the age group that's 16 and older, of course, with the understanding that those that are under 18 years of age, you'll need to accompany them as a parent or guardian, okay? Again, if you would like to schedule your jab, as the British call it, call 423-279-2777. 423-279-2777 if you are here in Sullivan County. You can also go to your Ballad Health website and get more information there as well. You can go to Vaccinate TN and get more information there as well and schedule appointments. So, hey, there's no reason to run around without your vaccination, okay? Your jab, as the British will say. Now, let's jump in and visit with our first guest this morning, and it is the handsome, the debonair, the suave, the sophisticated, the man, the myth, truly the legend in his own time, Michael Byrd with Secure Money Masters. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, thanks for being here, having me here.
Now,
it's great to be here.
I didn't have your mic turned on at that point, so.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Okay, good deal. I love it. I love it. Michael, you can take a deep breath.
I'm practicing just in time.
Just in time. Okay. All right. I know some places that could use you. Before we get into the topic today, we've got to do a disclaimer. And we should do a shout out to a couple of our friends.
Securities are offered through the ON Equity Sales Company, member of FINRA and SIPC, and investment advisory services are offered through the ON Investment Management Company, both of Cincinnati, Ohio. And you're going to have to give me that pen.
You like my pen?
No, I'm going to keep you from clicking it.
Oh. You smart aleck. You know, I don't have any nervous habits whatsoever.
No, not at all.
What about a shout out?
Shout out to the used to be Hardee's, but now Cafe 93 breakfast crew, still meeting every day and solving the world's problems, and of course, loyal listeners like Johnny and Dean.
And also our listeners out in St. Louis, Missouri, who are related to me, and occasionally, and I never know when they're listening.
Tell me when they come into town.
We'll have a cup of coffee or something. Now, a dish of Jell-O is what we'll have. All right, gotta ask you something, okay? What we want to talk about this morning is investment, retirement investments, and the myths about retirement investing. Now, are we talking about before retirement or after retirement, Michael?
Well, it's really, I guess, primarily people that are saying this, and they could be in retirement, they might be preparing for retirement, but it's the same myth, which is, well, when I get to retirement, I need to be more conservative, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're not taking into consideration inflation, and inflation is really the most corrosive part of retirement, because the longer you live, the more it affects it. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're retiring at 64 or 65, and you have theoretically 25 years in retirement, okay? So at a 3% inflation, that means the cost of things is going to go up double in that 25 years.
Okay, so the soft drink that you bought for a quarter
Is now 50 cents.
was now 50, yeah.
But I don't know how many soft drinks you can buy for a quarter now.
You can't.
Okay. So usually when you go to the little convenience store, they're $1.50. In your retirement, that's going to go up to $3. And if your
Okay.
income is not going up with that, then it gets harder and harder to buy.
You're
things.
backing up, is what you're saying.
Right? Yeah, you're backing up.
Well, now, okay. How in the world then do you compensate for that?
So you don't get conservative. You have to have some of your investments that are growing faster than inflation. You fix that problem though, because one of the big concerns, of course, is running out of money, and people in retirement are deathly afraid that they're going to, quote, lose it all.
Yeah, yeah.
So you fix that problem with time. You give those investments time, and you buy that time with cash or near cash that's available for your income, that whatever supplement you need to Social Security or your pensions or whatever, in order to have your monthly expenses met. So let's say that you need $500 a month. So that's $6,000 a year that you have to have set aside.
That needs to come in.
That you're direct depositing into your account every month, $500.
You're into your checking account to spend.
That's right. And so that's got to come from somewhere. Well, if you set aside, let's say $30,000, that covers you for 5 years.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
If you have back behind it another account that's working a little harder, and it's got 5 years worth of that income, now you have 10 years of that income, and so anything beyond those two accounts can work harder. It can be in the market, and it can be working, and you're giving it 10 years in order to
catch up or yeah.
Ride the waves.
Ride the waves. Wow. That would keep me awake at night, you know.
Which part? The part that you have $500 a month coming in that you know is going to be there
Yeah,
for 10 years?
That would, that would be something that would be heavy on the mind, is making sure that you've got that.
That's the easy part. The easy part is having that money set aside and is there in cash or near cash and can supplement your retirement income.
That what I'm hearing you say is that could be a cup of coffee a day that you don't buy.
If you don't have the $500 a month.
If you don't, okay.
Right.
All right. Wow. Oh, wow. Well, now, what some other common
Wait a
myths
minute,
about?
that's expensive coffee.
Yeah. Well.
$500 a month, coffee every day.
$15 a cup,
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know where you buy coffee, but I've got some ideas for you.
I am predicting that's gonna be a wishful thinking on our part. Well, there's some other myths.
Well, but to your point, let's say that you do spend $3 a day for coffee, and in your retirement, that's going to grow to $6 a day. So if you don't have some way to overcome inflation and have your money grow, then your ability to buy things is just going to erode more and more every year. And there's a lot of concerns, lots of debate going on right now about how much inflation is going to be.
Yeah, and there's even, I think, some debate and concerns about Social Security, solvency, that kind of thing too, that's out there as well. Do I need to take that into consideration?
Okay, so I do a lot of Social Security classes, and one statistic is that 30% of people that receive Social Security now depend on it for 90% or more of their income. All right?
So in other words, they've got...
That's all they've got. Social Security is all they got.
They don't have anything else that's
they don't have
giving
anything
them.
else.
Okay.
And so 60 million people receive Social Security benefits, so 30% of that is about 18 million people. That's 18 million votes. That's a lot of power, and anytime you start talking about reducing Social Security, they're voting.
They're going to be, so...
They're going to vote. So they are...
Spend less time worrying about that then.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it is not going to go away. Will there be changes? Yeah, I mean, the proposals out there right now are to increase Social Security benefits. They're going to also increase taxes on higher income people.
And corporate, which will add to the inflation side of it as well. And we're back on the merry-go-round again.
Right.
Well, now, okay, are there some other myths then that are out there about?
Yeah, so, well, I kind of alluded to one of them, that they're deathly afraid of losing it all. So that's the myth, is that if you have it invested, then you can lose it all.
That
all right?
comes from horror stories of the past.
And typically, it is about individual companies. And individual companies do have that risk. But if you have it invested in a very diversified mix, and instant diversification you can get with a mutual fund or an exchange-traded fund, they own the stocks of hundreds of companies. Now, they use computers, they have trading programs that if a particular stock drops below a particular level, let's say stock A is selling for $23 a share. And they have in their computer that if it drops below 20, then they immediately sell it.
Okay.
All right. So they have that on
triggers a sale.
So they have that on all of their stocks that they hold. So the only way for a mutual fund to go to zero would be for all of those stocks to be worthless before the computers could even sell it.
Be worthless. Okay, be worthless before.
Right,
Yeah.
which is the only way that happens is maybe a nuclear holocaust, in which case the last thing we're going to be worried about is...
That's the least of your worries,
Yeah,
is the financial situation.
Yeah, we're going to be worried about food and water.
Okay, so then mutual funds would be one way to counteract
That's one way. You can have a diversified portfolio of individual stocks. I mean, good, strong companies that have been around for a long time. The chance of them going broke, smaller. It's true. But again, the more you own, if you have multiple stocks, multiple companies, the chance of all of them going broke is very, very, very small. And it's one of those things that you manage it anyway. I mean, the whole point is to watch the eggs in that basket.
So you're actually then paying attention to what that fund invests in.
Sure.
Whether it be real estate or toilet paper. I mean, it's right. It's whatever they're investing in.
Yeah.
then does that play a role in how you decide where to put your money?
Sure. If you're investing in things that you are uncomfortable with, you don't understand, I mean, any of those things, then obviously you need to make some changes. If it keeps you awake at night, then you need to make a change. And that third, we talked about kind of that first account or first tank, that second tank that's got the same amount of money or a little bit more, and then that third tank is really your growth tank. That's the one that, let's just say you're uncomfortable with how much it goes up and down. That can be changed to where it doesn't go up and down very much, but you still get some growth.
Okay, so again, it's beginning to sound like having somebody in your corner that can monitor all these things is pretty important.
I think so.
I think from a practical standpoint, it becomes very important.
Right.
Where do you turn?
So we would love to sit down and just get an idea of what is going on, the kinds of things that you're doing, kinds of things that make you nervous, make you wake up in the middle of the night and wonder what's going on in the world, what's going on with your investments, and it just wakes you up. There's no reason for that.
Now, when I retire, do I just quit worrying?
Well, my personal beliefs is that we're each a steward, we're each a manager of what we've been given, and so we need to continue to manage it. But I also understand that a lot of this is information and stuff that people really struggle with. I mean, they struggle with.
I don't even know where to start.
Struggle with the concept of a mutual fund, and where would you start? So that's where somebody like me can come along and say, all right, let's map out what it is that you're doing and want to do, and then let's put together a game plan that'll get you to where you're trying to go, and or invest it in a way that you're comfortable.
Okay, and that could very well be different from pre-retirement and post-retirement.
Yeah, pre-retirement you're accumulating,
right,
and you're not as concerned about the ups and downs of the market, because I think a lot of people will understand, even when the market goes down and you're continuing to put money into it, you're buying when things are on sale.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing. So then when you get closer to retirement, or actually in retirement, you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm not adding to it anymore. And so your mindset changes. No longer, long term is now a shorter term.
Right.
Long term has changed. And so the amount of time really changes your thinking. And so that's where we call it time segmentation, where this time segmentation really helps you to kind of separate your income and the money coming in and that stable cash and investments from the growth investments.
Again, you have affirmed something that we have said, that it's vital that you have somebody in your corner. Mm-hmm. So I like you. And you said earlier that you love to sit down and talk with folks. A 2-hour visit would be a freebie, and you'd work from there?
Absolutely. It's a free consultation. We're trying to get our arms around the situation and find out from the client what their real concerns are.
Now, how can they schedule that?
The best is to just give us a call at the office. Our telephone number is 423-789-2000.
423-789-2000.
Right.
And you don't have to live in Kingsport or even in Tennessee. You
Correct.
can be a resident of the contiguous states, North
Right.
Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, even most any place in the United States.
Most places.
Most places as well. In the past, you've offered some face-to-face things. Can you still?
We're still not doing it. We're still kind of locked down.
Okay.
But we're getting closer. I think that we're going to see things opening up soon.
And the one-on-ones can be by Zoom or
by phone.
or by in person or whatever.
Right, right.
You want to do them in person because he's very eloquent, polished speaker. So he's blushing, I swear. Michael Byrd, Secure Money Masters, give us the disclaimer once again, and then we'll go from there.
Securities are offered through the ON Equity Sales Company, member FINRA and SIPC, and investment advisory services are offered through the ON Investment Management Company, both of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you, my friend. Our
Thank
economic
you.
picture is very important to us, and we appreciate what you do to help us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with who knows what we'll uncover here on AM Tri-City, so you stay tuned, okay? Tri-Cities here on your ESPN Tri-City station. We are live at Food City, the Food City on Eastman Road here in Kingsport. The place that makes your food dollars go farther, okay, further. There you go. Well, all right. Before we get to our next guest, I do need to remind you that even if you get vaccinated, okay, you still need to mask up, please, okay? Because whether you realize it or not, you may be contagious. and that person that is next to you may not be vaccinated. So make sure you get vaccinated. Now let's jump in and visit with our next guest, and it is the very handsome, the debonair, the suave, the sophisticated, the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Sears. And Jeremy is the minister at Avoca Christian Church.
Correct.
In Sullivan County. Welcome, my friend.
Welcome. It's good to be here.
Now, I've got to ask you something. I know you've got some things you want to talk about, but I've got to ask you something. This pandemic that we've been struggling with, has it not impacted worship services throughout the region, you think?
Absolutely it has. Yeah, in fact, sadly, there's a lot of churches that are simply not able to make it through this season. Some of the smaller churches have had to shut down because without attendance, and a lot of them didn't have any way for Facebook Live or any other way to communicate with their congregants or parishioners. So that we find that a lot of churches are really, really struggling during this season. It is an incredible challenge to get up and to preach and to teach to an empty audience on Sunday mornings.
I can't think of a harder place to be.
Oh, listen, Dave,
it's
it's funny. We're celebrating Resurrection Sunday this week, Easter, when Christ the King rose for the remission of our sin, to prove that he was who he said he was, the Son of God. And I can't think of a more appropriate, I guess, you look at it a year ago, most churches, in fact, I think in this region, all churches were closed for Easter. And
pretty much. I can't think of one that was open.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we had, I took, during this season at the outbreak and the onset of the pandemic, I took a volleyball and I put a red handprint on it and made it look like Wilson from Castaway, because and I put him in a pew because nobody was there.
You had to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, so I mean,
I love it.
At Easter there was nobody in the room, and it was a very challenging time. It didn't feel very celebratory. But this year, I think for most of us, for Christians throughout the country and especially in our regions, in a sense, we're getting a chance to celebrate not only the resurrection of Christ, but the resurrection of our church.
And when you think about it, too, that impacts things like, communion, Lord's Supper, whatever, however your tradition is. And I know in our case, we have found that they actually pre-package containers of juice and
just hang out. And so I don't mind if they stay and play cards all afternoon, whatever they want to do. Whatever they want to do is fine. It's a service that is for our senior community. By our senior community, so they're making the decisions on what they want it to look like and how,
And Jeremy, as I was listening to you, I can think of as a senior, we may be in good health physically, but there's a mental health aspect of socializing, visiting, talking,
sure,
shaking hands, even that you don't get when you're quarantined or isolated or whatever.
Dave, we were all created. God created us to crave physical connection, to crave emotional connection, because He is a God that very much those attributes. I mean, he loved us so much that His Son had to physically die for us.
Right.
And so, when we miss those things, I just wrote in fact, yesterday I wrote a church-wide newsletter, and in that I talk about how, this winter has been really hard for a lot, for us.
For all of us.
Yep.
Yeah, for all of us.
But I believe that this winter isn't just the physical aspect of winter, the cold, the chill, but just the emotional winter that so many people have been in their life right now, where they lack that connection with one another. And I know people that have not actually touched or hugged their grandmother in a year, but they wave to her through a window. They see her and they can put their hand up to the glass, and how heartbreaking is that?
Well, I can tell you from my own experience, my 16-year-old granddaughter got to hug me a couple of Saturdays ago for the first time since this whole stuff started.
And what did that do for your heart?
Listen, I was walking on top of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. And it did her some good as well.
Absolutely, especially at that age.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know,
and
teenagers are tough.
Yeah, think about our own.
Yep.
But you're right. It does make a huge difference there. Well, now, the service starts at what time?
At 9 a.m. So
9 a.m.
Yeah, we have our 9 o'clock primetime service, which is dedicated towards our seniors. And then we have
That doesn't mean that the young folks can't show
absolutely
up.
not.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome.
And then we have our normal 10 o'clock service, which is what we've been doing since the pandemic started. We used to have 2 services, but you know, when you've got a handful of people showing up for a service, there's no reason to have 2 services anymore.
Yeah.
So we kind of canceled it, and it gave us a chance. You know, and a lot of pastors would probably say the same thing. As hard as this season has been, it gives churches a chance to reinvent themselves without people getting angry.
Take a deep breath.
Yes, and you know how you know how if you've been going to a church for 25 years, well, this is how it's supposed to be. This is what we've always done.
We've always done it this way, and we're not going to do it any other way.
And so change becomes challenging because people don't like change generally.
Sure.
But in this regard, the change has been forced on so many different people that it gives the churches an opportunity to reevaluate, reassess, and say, hey, for us to move forward in the most impactful way for our community, what can we do? How can we do this differently so that we bring people together and we bring more people in, because that's the whole purpose of it, is to bring more people into the loving knowledge of a God that loves them so much.
Now, it is a regular worship service with singing and
singing,
scriptures and communion and all of that as well. So you're not shortchanging anybody anything.
Absolutely not. Nope.
I love it.
We're doing the same message, just a little bit of a different format in it. In fact, we're even in the process. I've got to order some more hymnals because we're gonna go back and sing from hymnals, and and the big one again is after service we're gonna open up a room for community.
Yeah.
And they don't have to leave.
They're welcome to stay. And,
right. We do ask that right now, obviously with COVID and everything else, we still want them to practice social distancing and wear masks.
Wear your mask and those kinds of things.
And that's up to them. And I kind of have taken a position where, the government mandates and everything else are for our safety and our protection, but God also gave everybody a brain, and He expects you to use it.
Well, practice a little common sense. It's kind of like what I have said about, getting your flu shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sick, stay home.
That's right.
That's just good advice,
Yep.
The hand sanitizing.
Yep.
We should have been doing that all along.
We should have been doing that all along. Yeah.
You keep your hands away from your face, your nose, your eyes, your mouth. You're careful about some of the things you do.
As dads, you can definitely say that we should. I know my kids use bathroom and come right out. I'm like, go wash your hands.
Go wash your hands. Exactly.
So yes, we need to be using hand sanitizer. But yeah, I think the big one, for us as a church and a church family is as we approach Resurrection Sunday, the hope, and I challenge our church with this letter this week to allow hope to arise within you again, that we are seeing the tail end of something that I believe the enemy has brought on, because
and I'm going to make this statement. Of course, there'll be people that'll say I'm wrong, but we've never been without hope. We've always had it. It may be covered up sometimes, but we've always had hope.
That's right.
I think that's an important lesson for all of us to learn. Even in the darkest hours.
That's right.
We've got hope.
Even in the darkest hours, we've got hope.
Now, again, can you give us a specific location for the church, like a street number? And
sure.
You don't have to be a member of a vocal Christian to join in? And
No, not at all. We're at 2417 Volunteer Parkway.
2417 Volunteer Parkway.
Yep,
okay.
We are right up the road from the Speedway. In fact, we're one of those few churches in the country that every now and then gets to cancel for
because
NASCAR.
of the traffic.
So,
Oh, I love it.
Not that we place NASCAR above Jesus, but
But it's an impossible
sometimes it's
situation to
impossible.
get
Yep.
in and get back out again.
Yep.
I
So-
understand. Is there a website?
there is. If you go to avoca.church, you can go to our website and check us out. We've
Avoca, AVOCA
AVOCA.
.church and
Yep.
get more
Yep.
more information. And is your picture on the webpage?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that'll back up the fact that introduced him as the handsome debonair.
My
as well.
wife's is on there too, which
Oh,
is
is
even,
she? Okay,
even
okay.
better. So
She overshadows you, huh?
by far,
Okay.
yeah. I'm the shadow from her sunshine. So
I love it. I love it. Service is at 9 o'clock Sunday morning.
is our primetime service,
Prime
and then our
time.
normal service is at 10 a.m.
Pick your service. Either
Yeah.
way.
Pick
Okay.
your service.
Reverend Sears, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Dave.
being with us today. More importantly, what you're doing enhances the quality of life in many ways, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with who knows what we'll uncover here on AM Tri-City, so you stay tuned, okay? AM Tri-Cities here on your ESPN Tri-City station. We are live at The Food City on Eastman Road here in Kingsport. That's right, The Food City. I love it, I love it, I love it. You know, with the Easter Bunny's visit right around the corner, maybe in the basket could be a Food City gift card. You know, that would make someone's Easter a little bit brighter. Okay. Now we got some business we need to take care of. First of all, if you live inside the city of Kingsport, and you have children, particularly kindergarten age children. Now, how old are they for kindergarten? That's age 5, on or before August the 15th of this year. The kids are eligible for kindergarten. The Kingsport City School System will be holding a kindergarten registration on April the 7th, and according to all of my ciphering and all of my figuring, that'll be next Wednesday, a week from today. It'll be from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m., and then they'll take a break, and it'll run from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m. Next Wednesday, a week from today. The registration will occur at the Kingsport Elementary School that your child is zoned for. Okay? If you live in the Johnson School, Andrew Johnson School zone, then you would go to Andrew Johnson for the kindergarten registration. Again, the child must be 5 years of age on or before August the 15th of this year to enroll in the kindergarten program here in the city of Kingsport school system. You also need to be a resident of the city of Kingsport as well. And now you'll have to bring some documentation with you, and that will consist of the items that are listed on the website, www.k12k.com, www.k12k.com. You can also call 378-2100. That's area code 423-378-2100. Now the documentation that you're going to need will be, well, a birth certificate for the child. Not the mother's copy, but the official birth certificate of the child. Proof that you live in Kingsport. That can be a rent receipt or a piece of mail or something like that you receive. So to bring that, you just get the list from www.k12k.com. Again, it's from 9 a.m. Till 3 p.m. Then they'll take a break and run from 4 to 6 p.m. Next Wednesday, a week from today. Now, they also, on that day, will be holding pre-K screening, okay? Now, I've got to tell you, I'm a firm believer in pre-K. And it's not, maybe not for the reasons that you would suspect, but pre-K offers an opportunity for your young'un to develop some social skills that will serve him or her well all through life, not just in school, but all through life. The regulations are the child must be 4 years of age on or before August the 15th of this year. 4 years on or before August the 15th of this year. Now, the time will be 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. next Wednesday, April the 7th, and that will be at the Palmer Center, which is here on Fort Henry Drive in Kingsport. As a matter of fact, the physical location is 1609 Fort Henry Drive. And again, you'll need to bring the documentation that's listed on the website, k12k.com, k12k.com. You can also call 378-2160, area code 423-378-2160. The required documentation is going to include the child's birth certificate, not the mother's copy, but the child's birth certificate, and health records, those kinds of things, and proof that you live inside the city of Kingsport. Now, for both of these sessions, both of these opportunities, you're going to be required to wear a mask, okay? And the children do not need to be present during the registration for kindergarten or the pre-K screening that'll be going on next Wednesday. Again, pre-K, Palmer Center, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Next Wednesday. Again, go to www.k12k.com and you can find more information as well. One of the things that we like to see is that as things loosen up a little bit, I guess is the best way to put it, we're beginning to see more and more opportunities for you to get out and about. For example, our good friends with the Bloomingdale Ruritan Club are going to be holding an Easter egg hunt on Saturday. That's right. Its annual Easter egg hunt will take place this Saturday, April the 3rd, starting at 10 a.m. That will be at Sullivan North High School. and they will. The hunt will take place across 5 fields, and depending on the age, they'll have a variety of prizes that'll be given away. It's a free event that's going to take place rain or shine, and you need to arrive promptly and adhere to COVID-19 protocols. Again, it starts at 10 a.m. And it'll be at the Sullivan North High School, and it'll take place simultaneously across 5 fields. Each of those fields identified by an age group. They'll have a variety of prizes. We're getting back to a new normal, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate